We're now joined by the Fighting Irish. Coach, your thoughts about this evening's game?
Disappointed, obviously. We came here to win a football game, and we did not do the things necessary to beat a very good team. Congratulations to Clemson. They played well. They were opportunistic. They made the plays necessary to win in a game of this fashion. Opportunistic in that we lost, one of our very fine defensive backs in Julian Love to a head injury. Again, you can't give up 4 big plays on defense. We did not do that all year. Uncharacteristic of our defense. And we generated virtually no big plays. We didn't play the kind of offense that would lend itself to scoring enough points to beat a talented Clemson team. So we've got to coach better. We've got to put our kids in a better position to succeed, and we've got to make plays on this stage. I feel terrible for our seniors. They put us on the brink of a championship. It's now up to everybody else that has eligibility in that locker room to get this football team to a championship. So the challenge is in that locker room now to dedicate themselves to taking what this senior group has given the group that comes back and running with it and winning a championship.
Okay, we'd prefer that if you would ask student athlete questions first. We'll take a microphone, pass it to you if you'll get your hand up. We got one on the outside right.
Julian, could you give us a sense of what the head injury was, when you felt like you could come back in, and just sort of its impact on you?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I was trying to get going sooner than they allowed me to. I was ready shortly before halftime. Then we closed out the half, and then I knew I was ready to go right after.
He didn't pass his part of his protocol, which was memory.
Further questions for our student athlete in the front? Please give your name and affiliation, please.
Hi, this question is for Ian Book. This is Ben Kirchhoff of CBS Sports. Ian, 6 sacks tonight from Clemson's defense, really up front. They seemed like giving you a lot of trouble. Couldn't really get through your reads. As far as trying to push the ball downfield, I mean, were you just didn't have any time to get anything going? I mean, what were they doing that was so effective?
Yeah, Clemson, they got a talented defense, and, we just wanted to control what we could control, and, I was trying to get through my reads as fast as I could, and, I'm happy with the way the O-line played today, and I'm just thankful for them this whole entire season, and especially the seniors as well. Like Coach said, I feel really bad for them, and, it's hard to win a game when you score 3 points, and, as an offense, we just got to do better, and we just got to, play the way we've played throughout the whole entire year, and just control what we could control. And we didn't need any superhuman efforts today, and we just needed to do what we've been doing all season, and we weren't able to do that.
Further questions for our student athletes? Got a question on the aisle, second row. Just a moment, they're bringing the microphone to you.
Mike Paradino, Indy Star. In the second quarter, when you guys had 3 straight possessions, I think 2 first downs out of that stretch, but then they were scoring on every possession. How key was that part of it that you guys weren't able to keep the ball away from them?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge, and we needed to get first downs. We needed to get points on the board, and we just weren't able to get it done. And this whole year, I'm really thankful for the way our defense have played, and they gave us the ball back so many times this season, and when they do that, we got to put up points on the board. That's our job as an offense, and we just weren't able to do that tonight.
Question on the aisle right.
Austin Huff here, Goshen News. Julian, how frustrating is it not being able to be out there with your teammates in that second quarter when Clemson starts to get a little momentum there and make some plays like that?
Yeah, I mean, it hurts. It was hurting me internally because I obviously want to be out there. I wanted to help our team, and in a sense, I let them down in that regard. And so I try to do what I could in the second half, but it definitely didn't feel good.
Question on the front right.
Paulin Banks, thesportsbank.net. This is for Julian. What was it about the Clemson receivers specifically that made them such a tough guard? The height, speed, route running, all of it?
You know, on defense, we said all season it's not about who we play, it's about what we do. And that's led us to be successful for the whole entire year. And today we got away from that. We got away from what we were doing. We've played big receivers before. We played, you know, a variety of different types of receivers. It was just being our best in our scheme, and that's what we failed at tonight. You know, it wasn't necessarily what they were doing. It was lack of attention on our part.
Further questions? We got a question on the left on the aisle.
Hey, Ian, this is Chris Ardell from Herbert from Radio in Baltimore. Just talk about Clemson's defense. Is this something that you guys are going to build on for next year when you see a defense like Clemson, you know, in next year's schedule?
Definitely. You know, this loss hurts, and you know we'll worry about next year in a little bit. So, you know, you see a team like Clemson, you know you're gonna, you know, this is playoff football, and this is what you're gonna get, and we know, you know, how we have to play to win in games like this. You know, we'll worry about that when we start working out again and getting back as a team, and we just got to play. We just got to play better. But now, you know, we know what it's like, and we know what we have to do to win.
Question on the front left.
Julian, can you put into words just what this team has meant to you and what this season has been like?
I mean, it's been such a fun ride. You know, we have such great characters in that locker room, and it's led by our seniors. They've done so much for us. You know, Drew deciding to come back. You know, everyone just allowing us to have fun, allowing us to work. You know, Coach Lee really taking charge and really directing us on defense. I know Coach Long did the same on offense. It's been a dream this year. And it's been so fun, and you know we wish we could keep going and obviously end it on a better note. But there's more to come next year.
Further questions for our student athletes? One more time. Anybody got any student athlete questions? We got one in the back, halfway back on the right-hand side.
Nick Shepkowski, WSCR, Chicago. Just curious, as a player, how deflating is it mentally when review after review doesn't go to your best interest?
For Julian or myself?
I think that, you know, as players, you shouldn't leave it to review. That's simple as it is. We should have made better plays, you know, across the board, to not even put ourselves in compromising positions like that and leave it to review.
On the outside left.
Junior, WNDU. Julian, how do you want this team to be remembered?
I mean, not like this, obviously. I think there's more to come next year, and I want this team to be remembered for our seniors. And you know, they started this. You know, 2 years ago we were in, you know, horrible. We were feeling horrible for a different reason because we didn't get a shot. And this year, obviously, is different. We got our shot, but we're going to build on it, and you'll see us back here for sure.
Final question for our student athletes. Okay, guys, congratulations on a great season. We're going to keep coach. If you'll exit the stage, they'll take you back to the locker room or take you across the hall. I'm not sure which. Okay, we got a question for coach right in the middle on the right-hand side, and then we'll come to the front.
Brian Hyde, Greg Doyle from the Indy Star. The yardage and the points similar to the Alabama game 6 years ago. Do you feel closer to that level of competition despite the numbers?
I want to be clear. I understand the question. Do I feel like it's different than that game? Oh, I do. Absolutely. I left that game feeling like there was so much work to be done from the inside out. So much development, so much recruiting. This felt so much different. Like we gave up 4 big plays that we characteristically don't give up, and very capable of moving the football and doing the things necessary to beat this football team. They were the better team today. There's no doubt about it. But with now giving them the opportunity to see how they need to play in this atmosphere, not flawless, but with excellence, we can come back here and win. So it's a real different feeling for me. I almost had to go like, I mean, they should play the Bears after playing that game against Alabama. This is a totally different feeling. I feel like this football team is on the brink, where when I left that game, it was, boy, do we have a lot of work to do.
Question on the aisle, all the way back.
Brian, just wondering if you were surprised at all about how well their young guys performed on this big a stage, freshman quarterback, freshman receiver, sophomores. You know, they had a lot of young guys making plays.
No, I thought that we evaluated them accordingly, that they were going to be really good players, and that they. I will say this: I don't think that we need to coach better. I thought that there were some things that we needed to do better as coaches in this game, in our plan, and we're going to learn as coaches in this game as well. So we've got a great staff. It's a young staff, and I think we learned a lot from this game. But I have a great deal of respect for the young players. But I think we had a really good handle on knowing that they could be explosive as well.
Question on the aisle on the left.
Hey, Brian. Chris Heidel from Herbert Radio in Baltimore. With Winbush, was he getting ready to go in, or what was wrong with Winbush today?
There was nothing wrong with him. We were gonna let him go in at the end of the game, but they picked up that first down, and that was it. But no, there was nothing wrong with him.
Question on the front right.
Coach, Austin Huff here, Goshen News. What is it going to take for you guys in this program to go from not just making it to this level, but then winning a game of this level and being able to get another national championship in Notre Dame?
Well, we gave up 4 big plays. I think Clemson was extremely smart and opportunistic in taking advantage of some things schematically today. They did a great job of pushing the ball vertically in some opportunistic situations. And offensively, we struggled moving the football today. So those were technical and tactical. I did not feel like there was an overwhelming difference in terms of talent. They have extremely talented players. But if we were better tactically and technically today, if we coached better and we made plays today that we have been making all year, we would have had a pretty darn good football game going into the fourth quarter. It didn't happen that way. So we're on the brink. We're close. We're gonna work our tails off to get back here.
On the front right.
Brian, so you mentioned multiple times it's like the second quarter, a bunch of plays, big plays after big plays. It's a tactical situation. So then on your end, what needs to happen then from a coaching standpoint then to make sure that you guys are better prepared for those types of situations?
It's really too much to get into right now, and it's a very good question, and I respect the question. But I think that we lost a very good corner, and to get any further into it would be, really trying to talk about players and their performance. As coaches, we should have done a better job in putting together a plan during that time. Clemson was outstanding in taking advantage of some things, and we needed to do a better job in that situation.
Question on the outside left, second row.
Coach, what did this senior class mean to the Notre Dame football program?
Well, they allowed us to really set such a strong culture and foundation for where we want to be every year, and that's in the playoffs, playing for a national championship. So our guys will now go into every year knowing that this is the destination.
How do you want this group to be remembered?
That they put us on the brink, and that the next group now knows that journey and that path and how to get there. It's their job now to see us there and through it and get us to a national championship.
Further questions for Coach? Anybody else? We got one question here and then one in the back. We'll go to the back first.
Coach, when Julian went out of the game, can you describe what the feel was a bit on the sideline? Because it seemed like the play immediately obviously suffered a bit.
again, we have to be good enough that we can overcome the loss of one player. Clemson was able to overcome the loss of a great defensive lineman. We have to be able to overcome the loss of a really good player. That's the bottom line. When you're in this game, you've got to be able to overcome the loss of key players. And that means from a coaching standpoint and a playing standpoint, players got to make plays and coaches got to put players in position to make plays. And that's just being real. I mean, so this is about coaching and players in these games. When you lose key players, coaches got to step up and players have got to step up.
Further questions? Question right here in the front.
Obviously not the result you wanted, but what are some of the positives you can kind of take away and use in recruiting and everything and looking ahead to next year and building blocks from this?
It's you know, it's more than anything else. It's if you look at the last 2 years, this is a team that's won 23 out of 22 out of 25 games. I mean, it's a really good, strong, solid football program that needs to continue to work towards a championship. You know, we don't play for a conference championship, so, you know, it's the ultimate goal. You know, we're in here licking our wounds after being one of the 4 teams. You know, that's a good place to kind of, you know, take restock and get stronger from it. So we'll get better because of this. You know, losing gives you a perspective. It's not great. No one ever likes to go through losing to gain a perspective, but our guys saw that they can win a game like this, and we'll go to work on that.
Final question for Coach on the outside right.
Coach W. now with the Observer. Can you just clarify on the Julian Love situation? So was it precautionary initially, and then he was cleared? It didn't seem, at least his explanation was a little.
Yeah, and it should always come from me, you know, because the young man doesn't know the protocol. But he went through the stages of our protocol, each step, and he was cleared by our medical personnel. And that's why sometimes it's when you get into these formats and you ask questions to players, I can't jump in like his lawyer. But he went through our medical protocol, cleared all those stages, and then our doctors came to me at halftime and said he had cleared all of our protocols and he was cleared to go back in the game.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, Coach, thank you very much.
Alrighty, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Thanks a lot. In a couple of minutes, the Clemson coach and 2 students